Happy 2025. This would be our first Chalk Talk of 2025. This is Coach Paul here. And, we had an incredible 2024 season. Now diving into 2025, this would be the start of our off-season football training program. So the discussion for our Chalk Talk today would be, what do you do in the off-season? That's always the question. I think in today's society within sports, the motto is play, 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 and more play. And, within the past 2 years, especially, I've seen such a shift in high school sports where there's less off-season training going on in general, at least here in Hawaii. I think the whole politics of the game, where kids are almost emulating colleges where you have your transfer portals where high school kids are doing the same in the high school level, where coaches don't even know which players are staying and which are going. And, people just constantly chase the ring. I call them ring chasers, is when all you want to do is win, win, win. Is winning important? Of course, we all want to win. We're competitors, and that's why we play the sport. But at the end of the day, is winning everything, So, that's a whole different topic, but diving into what should we be doing in the off season. Bottom line is this: bigger, stronger, faster. I don't care what sport it is that you are playing. There needs to be a true off season where you're getting bigger, stronger, faster. You look at college athletes right now, college football players, they take a break for about 2 weeks or so, and now they're right back in it. And they're in the gym, they're doing their field work. They're not really touching the football at all. It's just the motto of getting bigger, stronger, faster. Same as the NFL players. Super Bowl is coming up soon. And, what are most players doing here that are not in the Super Bowl? They're going to do the same. They're going to take about 2 to 4 weeks off, let their bodies repair, recoup, and they're going to get right back in the gym. They're going to hire their personal trainers to get them right. All right. So, no different here in high school sports or youth sports. There needs to be a true off season. If you're not playing your sport, like say football players, if you're not playing football in the off season, multiple sport athletes are always a high percentage of the recruiting rate, where, playing basketball, baseball, soccer, other sports other than football, typically is more beneficial. It's proven. If you are not one of those athletes that plays other sports, that's perfectly fine. That's why you have sports performance companies like ours, where we specialize in getting you more athletic in general. All right. Not every trainer has that model. So when diving in and looking into a trainer, that's one thing is, I highly suggest that if it's not with us, you're working with a highly qualified trainer, that'll get you right, not just for your sport, but your overall athleticism. What makes the best athlete the most athletic athlete? That's why the highest percentage athletes that get recruited into college can play multiple sports. Maybe some didn't play multiple sports, their entire lives, but they're that athletic where they can do so. So yeah, make sure you get with a highly qualified, experienced trainer that has the knowledge and also has a proven history, of getting athletes to reaching their goal. So do your due diligence, parents. If you're going to invest money, you want to make sure you're investing into the right people, not just because somebody said so. Make sure you do your background check and ask questions. I don't care what type of trainer it is, whether if it's a strength conditioning coach, whether it's a specific skill coach towards your position in your sport. You got to do your background check. Ask questions. Don't just assume just because this guy is promoting or she's promoting something that they are good to go. All right. A lot of them don't get caught up in the flash and dash coaches where everything looks flashy, everything's loud and everything's energetic, but it doesn't mean it's the best training for your athlete. So do your due diligence, do your research, parents, when you're making that investment. Here's what you shouldn't be doing. You shouldn't be playing more of your sport. More and more today, I hear Parents tell me that coaches are literally telling them that in order to get better at your sport, you need to play more. Not true. All right. That's why there's an off season. What makes you better at your sport is getting bigger, stronger, faster, and more athletic going into your next season. That is the key to getting better in your sport. When you set up, the ages from 6 years old to the age of 16 years old is the most crucial stages into building a solid foundation for your athleticism. So it's starting at that young age so we can catch it before all the bad habits are created, and building them up consistently over a long period of time that'll make them better athletes. Look, I've seen it. We're going on 10 years now. This year, 2025, this May actually will make 10 years of Phase 1 Hawaii being existent here in Hawaii. And, but I've been a trainer for 20 plus years. But, I've seen it here in Hawaii within almost 10 years now. Is I will work with an athlete since they were like 7 years old. Now they're like 13, 14 years old. And man, every year they come in, they do the work, we progress, and those athletes are different. And let me tell you, like, it's proven. So we see it time and time again. Getting into programs like ours will help you getting more athletic overall. So that should be the focus, guys, in the off season. If you play, say, football in the fall, say your youth tackle football players, if you play football in the fall season, you shouldn't be bouncing back and playing spring football within the same year. You should take that time to play other sports and get into an off-season training like we have until the next fall season comes around. That way you're getting more athletic for the next season. Here's what definitely shouldn't be happening, which I see happening more and more again here in Hawaii, is where you have high school football players playing in their high school football season during the fall and coming off and doing spring football with a youth football program. I don't know how leagues allow this to happen. To me, that should be a clause for safety reasons, where if you touched high school football, if you were on a team and you played, you should not be allowed to play in a youth football program. I mean, you have younger kids, younger age groups that are in these programs that you will set up to get injured, and for you players and you parents, you got to really look at this. Like, coaches, unfortunately, are going to push for you. One, we talked about it earlier. They're going to say that you got to play more to get better. False. Then they're going to, it becomes an ego thing where they're just trying to get their team together or keep them together in order to win games. So, I don't think it's a negative on any which way. I just have my own opinions, and I always go the route of safety, whether if it's, within the sport of playing seasons or even within our training programs. I always take the safer route. We got to understand, and it's going to be a whole different, discussion. But when you talk about the percentages of why you shouldn't play more tackle football, one, overuse, right? Like, this is any sport. If you play baseball, soccer, football, doesn't matter. It's the overuse of the movements that can set you up for injury at the end of the day. All right. That's number one. It's proven. All right. Like, look at baseball players. If you're a right-hand batter, a regular stance batter, think about this. How many times does a batter practice batting in the batting cage? How many do they practice batting, at practices with their pitchers? How many times are they swinging that bat in that particular direction? What happens to the other motion in the opposite direction, right? It's never thought of, and they don't turn around and ambidextrous, baseball players turn around and do a left hand as much as they do on the right. Same as the throwing motion. How many times are they throwing, like a pitcher is throwing, if they're righty or lefty, it doesn't matter. How many times are they pitching? How many times are they throwing that ball and getting that movement over and over and over? How you compensate for the imbalances that you're going to create, within those movements. So that's what's going to set you up for injury. It's same with football. It's same with any other sport. You have to get in a training session in order to get these imbalances in checked. All right, or you're setting yourself up for injury. Number one, that's point number one on why you shouldn't play more. Number two, for your physical contact sports, I know especially in tackle football and even in soccer, concussions are, a major concern. So why are we going to set up our athletes to be more likely to get a concussion by having them play more? You look at athletes in the NFL, how many concussions or ending careers, or you hear that they had mental issues, which led to suicide and so many other things where they're dysfunctional with their body in general, because of concussions over time. So because your athletes are so young, like they're not going to show signs of it immediately. But over time, as they get older, they start forgetting things. They won't remember things as long. Maybe even, motor skills. I mean, anything can happen with this. That's why I say, I go the safe route, because why play more when it's definitely not beneficial in any means. So, you look at soccer players, volleyball players, you have clubs, and you have, especially the older kids in high school, you have your high school season, then you have your club season, which becomes your all year round sport. Now, where in that time are you taking to get your off season training in, right? And I see it all the time. None. Overuse, there's even ways, if you have a good trainer, like I know how to do a good in-season training program that keeps you getting stronger, but also keeps you mobile and also keeps you injury free, for the most part, if it's a non-contact injury, over time. So, there's different approaches that we can take with these athletes. So, in youth sports, studies find that 5% of youth football players from ages 5 to 14 sustain a concussion each season. 20% of high schoolers, and there was 219 concussions reported in the year 2023 from the NFL. So that's just a quick overview. If that doesn't at least get you thinking, like, yeah, why am I having my youth tackle football player play all year round, basically in the fall and the spring, when all I'm doing is setting my child up for injury, when there's no, here's the bottom line. First question, and we always write down pros and cons, right? So let's go with the pros. Question number one: what is the benefits of playing all year round? Playing fall season tackle, spring season tackle. You have these tackle tournaments going on where you're playing 4, 5, 6 games within 2 to 3 days, which is insane. But what's the benefit? What is the outcome at the end of the day? Number one, win the title, right? You won the championship. You got the belt. You got the trophy that you brought home for youth tackle football, in a tackle tournament. What else do you get from it that is beneficial? Do you get college scouts looking at you in these tournaments? I highly doubt it. So when I look at it, to me, there's absolutely zero reasons why you should do a tackle tournament or play multiple seasons in youth sports when it comes to tackle fall and spring, because I can't answer any other reasons why it's beneficial. And of course, coaches will say that the more you play, the better. Not true. And I gave you reasons why earlier. I gave you many reasons why you shouldn't do it. Why shouldn't I play? And I gave you all those reasons. And the number one is concussion and injury. So with that said, in the off season, guys, you have to be focusing on getting more athletic all the way around. We do have our off season training going on right now, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m., where we focus on strength, speed, mobility. You're even testing, making sure that, every month you're progressing through. If you're not part of a program where you're progressing athletically, like I'm not talking about hitting PRs in your 1 rep max bench press or your 1 rep max squat or deadlift. I'm talking about overall athleticism, especially if you're on the field or the court. You have to make sure you're running faster. You have to make sure your agility is quicker. And then, of course, we're going to test strength, but in different ways. Like the vertical jump will definitely test your lower body strength, because at the end of the day, you are not playing with a bar on your back to see how much you're squatting or pulling on the deadlift. You're not laying on the bench pushing a bar. You're literally playing with your body weight. So we have to make sure we are testing you in ways that are translating to the field. So again, we have our off-season football training. Actually, any sport can actually join in on this, ages 12 to high school. Monday through Thursday, 6 p.m. for 1 hour. You can hit us up on www.p1hawaii.com. Simply, all our contact information is on there. Our contact number is 808-800-7150. Guys, we look forward to helping your athlete progress. We have even our youth performance program for ages 6 all the way through 11 that is also on our website, where we help progress from level 1, ages 6 to 8, and level 2, ages 9 to 11, and training young athletes the proper way. With that said, guys, have a great day. Happy Aloha Friday. Take care. God bless. Peace.